All right, let's see what this guy's talking about.
We're here because we God cannot. And therefore, we humans have an imagination. Because imagination comes from pain, from suffering, from making mistakes. And so, for our creativity, we are expanding God. Okay, so God is eternal, but it's also infinite. It's always expanding. And for our creativity, for the practice of our imagination, we're expanding the possibilities of God, and we're bringing joy and light and love to the universe. So we're here to imagine things. We're here to love each other. So what I teach is this. The grand secret of the universe is love is the unifying force of the universe, right? When you love someone, you're connected to God, you're connected to everyone else. The imagination is the animating force of the universe. So when you imagine, okay, when you imagine new possibilities, when you tell stories, when you teach, you are making the universe much more alive. You're expanding the possibilities of the universe. So we're here for two reasons: to love, to find someone to love, and to love that person deeply and unconditionally, like Donnie loved Beatrice, right? And to imagine things, to teach, to create, to learn.
I think Professor Jang is an interesting individual to listen to. I find myself agreeing with some of the statements that he makes, and others not so much. This one, in part, I believe that he's on to something. As I said, in part, emphasize that part of my statement, that part. I think it's important for one to be careful with talk of the universe. Oh, the universe told me to do it. That's how we met. Yeah, we came here at the same time and this and that. Be careful with that. Be careful with that. Personally, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. Not to say that I'm a prude, you know. I don't mind throwing on some Tupac or, Michael Jackson or what have you. But I am saying that from my standpoint, there's really only two sources when you boil it down. There's God, and then there's not God. And both have the power to make things happen. Those chance meetings, those chance interactions, opportunities even. So I think this is a fascinating idea. That's not the main point I wanted to get at, but I felt that it was necessary to put out there because I don't necessarily hear a lot of people make the point that I just made. My main point is to talk about why we're here. I do believe that we're here for each other. I think that that's the point of human life, to be here for one another. There's no society without multiple people, different humans. You can't have a football season without people, players, staff, spectators. Same with basketball, hockey. You can't have a school without students, principal, teachers. You can't have a corporation without workers of some sort. whether it be construction or it be a computer company such as Apple or Microsoft. It takes people to have society. So to relate that to what he was saying about love, I do believe that love is a part of that. A big part of that. God is love. I'm sure you've heard that phrase before. And even on the flip side, when things don't go well, when things go left, when we see crazy stories on the news, tragic stories on the news, what's that? That's the absence of love. Maybe even hate in some situations, but in the vast majority of those cases, if not all, I say that that's the absence of love. So if we're here to love one another, here to be here, present to be here for one another, then you might say that the definition of evil is to do the reverse of that. To not be here for one another and to exercise the absence of love. It's kind of a far out idea, but I figured it'd be fun, if not fascinating, to play around with this idea and these different possibilities. Or maybe that's just me. Maybe nobody cares to think about that. Maybe people would rather talk politics strictly or talk comedy. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know if you agree or if you disagree. Drop a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Peace.